Hey everyone, welcome back for part 2. I hope you watched part 1. If not, you can catch it on YouTube. This is part 2 of my little studio workshop tour. And I'm pretty much going to pick it up right where I left off. There's the brushes that we touched on the last time. And right next to that you can see some Q-tips, some cotton swabs, useful for a lot of different things. A lot of times I'll put some glue activator on a Q-tip if I'm going to use glue activator to attach two pieces, or paint thinner, or Vaseline, petroleum jelly if you need to put something on there. Q-tips are very useful to have in your workshop. This is a little plastic bowl that I got, I don't know, probably from a Chinese food restaurant that I ate some Chinese food one day. And if you're a customizer, if you've been customizing for a while, you know what the motto is. And if you're not a customizer, if you haven't been doing it that long, here's the secret, the main secret rule. Throw nothing away. As I go through my tour, you will see that I pretty much have saved just about everything. Almost nothing goes in the garbage for me. Okay, and like I said, this plastic bowl here is no exception. Like I said, it probably came from a Chinese restaurant somewhere along the way. And what I do is I just keep it on my desk, my workbench, and you can see it's got just all random bits and pieces. I mean, here's a Darth Vader that I mangled to get some arms out of for a project I was working on. And this cup bowl just kind of collects all the pieces that are left over from pieces that I'm working on. If I need to cut somebody's leg in half and only need half a leg, the other half of the leg goes in the bowl. And then every now and then, once the bowl starts overflowing and pieces start falling all over the table, that's when I'll clean it up and put it somewhere else. As you can see, there's like sheets of styrene, there's some wire. It's just like a junk bowl. Like you have that junk drawer in your kitchen, well, that's my junk bowl in my workshop. This little Slim Jim container contains bottle caps from water bottles or Pepsi bottles or Coke bottles or whatever. And what I do with the bottle caps is some of the paints I use come in dropper bottles, so you need to put the paint in something when you're going to paint with it. So I'll use the bottle caps. I'll put a couple drops of paint into a bottle cap and I'll use that. I mean, I also have a paint palette, which I kind of skipped over, but for some reason I prefer using the bottle caps. In the back you can see some of my assorted random junk, which we'll touch on a little bit later, but as you can see, it's pill bottles, a Band-Aid box. Like I said, throw nothing away. It's the secret to customizing. Next, I'm going to go over here. As you can see, I have these two shelving compartment units, I guess you could call them, and I mean, these kind of get a lot of stuff that I use. I mean, as you can see, I tried to put some labels on them so I know where everything is. Stands. This one just has backpacks of all kinds. This one's got some supplies. As you can see, again, throw nothing away. Some more brushes, some tape, some wire, more tape, some plastic. Anything that has no other place to go kind of goes in these drawers here. I mean, that one there says miscellaneous accessories, and that just means it's miscellaneous stuff. Up on the top here of that container, I have like a little, I guess like a little junk area. You can see a Commander Gree VCD figure that I made a while back. There's a Darth Vader figure from somewhere. There's a wooden mannequin wearing a Jango Fett helmet. Some supplies for casting and molding, some cups, some measuring cups and sticks and brushes, toothpicks, again, something that will come in handy for a wide variety of uses. This is a little bead container that I picked up, just holds a couple of random things. Up on top here I have some of the I guess they're Lego, I forget what they call them, levers of some sort. They're what I use for doing any kind of ball jointing for hands or feet. If you're going to add a ball joint to a hand or a foot, you can use these little Lego levers. You cut one end off and stick it in the arm. Then I have some little foot pegs from an Ultrama stand, some rubber bands. Back there I have some fishing line. There's some ink. And we'll move on to this one here. I have I believe this is Purgatory, I want to say. from the Lady Death action figure series a couple years back. Don't know why I bought it, but there it is. There's a little Sand Trooper or a Stormtrooper model kit that I put together a while ago. Here I have a couple of different, it's a gloss varnish, there's airbrush cleaner, there's some larger bottles of paint. And then here I have some weathering supplies. These are paint markers. They're good for mostly working on like vehicles or dioramas. I'll use this kind of stuff. The Tamiya Weathering Master pastels, I guess you could call them. And I have pastel sticks, and I have some oil color pastels. A little drawer full of Lego accessories. That's it for there. On the opposite wall, you will see that I have more little shelving and bin units. Now, these shelving and bin units hold mostly figure parts. I mean, if I zoom in a little bit, you'll see, these have some Mando helmets, some Clone Trooper heads, human heads, Galactic Marine helmets, Neo and Cody helmets, Roth's Clone Trooper helmets, Clone Pilot helmets, Attack of the Clones helmets. Again, I try to separate everything so that when I need something, I know exactly where it is, or I can hopefully find it quickly enough. Some more casting accessories, weathering powders, not really powders, but some eye makeup brushes. They're good for applying the pastels, or also for applying the powders, which are in here. You can see they come in a couple of different colors. One of these is for vintage accessories. There's some Sand Trooper custom casts from Bantha 5. Ryan sent me these a while ago. Bought these off of Ryan. Just haven't had a chance to put them together yet. Hopefully someday I will. And like I said, these here just have all my little parts and pieces. On top of this, you can see I have some speakers where my music that I can't live without comes from. And a couple of little figures here that I've collected. Deadpool, some Boba Fett's. And on top of that, I have another shelving unit. Now this one usually contains mostly like weapons, armor pieces, anything that's really basically not a body part. And on top of that, I have yet another small one that holds mostly supplies. You can see this one here has some push pins in it and some miscellaneous supplies, some coins. And then up there I just have some more miscellaneous random stuff. Some blisters for when I do custom carding, which does not happen very often. But should I ever decide to get back into it, I've got more than enough blisters to hold me over for a while. In front of my desk, I have a window, which doesn't really do much for me, so I have it covered up with a nice vinyl banner that I stole or got from Toys R Us back when Attack of the Clones was out. Some more random miscellaneous stuff around my room. Now, we come to the other wall. And this is the wall where a lot of my supplies are kept. You can see that I've got, well, I guess here on the top you can see some popsicle sticks. I have some, you can't see in there, it's plastic spoons, plastic containers. I have my little Storm Shadow Ninja collection up here. Primer, some spray primers, foam, Elmer's white glue, some bottles of Rit dye, a Cobra head thing, a little X-Wing, some sealer, some spray-on sealer, which I don't actually use much anymore. I prefer the brush-on types. And then, last but not least, I have some goof-off. Very important. And I think that is going to bring me to the end of part 2. Because, again, I'm approaching the 10-minute mark. And, like I said, YouTube is pretty strict. So, we're going to end part 2 here. And pick it up in part 3. I hope you'll join me in part 3. See ya.